Philosophical Mysticism, 21 Arguments Against Transmigrating Consciousness. So the prospect of downloading your consciousness onto a computer or replacing the human body with a robot or something like that, or creating a digital or virtual version of ourselves is getting closer and closer. And this idea of transmigration has moved from the stuff of fiction to reality. Very soon, coming in the near future, we will be able, at least in some sense, to transmigrate consciousness out of the body. I'm going to give reasons why this is a much scarier prospect than many people realize. I'm going to give 21 succinct arguments against transmigrating consciousness out of the body. So I'm going to make these really simple, straightforward arguments. Hopefully, it's convincing. So yes, argument one. We fully don't understand the human brain, making it functionally hard to duplicate. So obviously, we still know relatively little about the human brain. There's a lot left to learn. So yeah, it would be really hard to duplicate, now or in the near future. We don't fully understand consciousness, thus it would be difficult to emulate. 3, we don't fully understand how memories work. This would make them hard to replicate accurately. 4, only conscious memories would be transferred. Unconscious memories would be lost. At least that's what most people want when they transfer. They want the conscious memories. We don't understand the archetypes. Thus, archetypes would likely be lost. So in philosophical mysticism, archetypes are real. They're a real thing. And we definitely don't understand them. So there would be no need or no urgency to try to figure this out before trying to transfer consciousness. Ideas are non-physical, so would likely not be transferred in a physical conversion. Only physical replicas would remain. So again, in philosophical mysticism, ideas are non-physical. At least everything I've heard about transmigrating consciousness, like onto a computer or something, it's always a physical conversion. There's never any mention of non-physical conversion. So ideas would likely be lost. We would just have replicas of ideas. 7, even if we could transfer ideas, we might not be able to transfer the primitive ideas. For example, how do you code for something like time, or the primitive idea of time? 8, we don't fully understand the emotions, which could be lost or replaced with mere synthetic variants. In transmigration of consciousness, the way that we're going to do it, we lose our bodies. Bodies may be tied to personal identity or have intrinsic value. So there might be something bad in losing our bodies. 10, there are numerous collections of neurons and neural patterns outside the brain, so we would have to also transfer a virtual version of the body to capture the same mental features, which could easily go wrong. So we have like neurons like in our digestive tract. So if we really wanted to get like a perfect perfect copy of someone, you're gonna have to actually have like a virtual version of like the digestive tract and stuff. So there's a lot more going on than just the brain. So if you want to get it right, you got to do all that, and that could easily go wrong. There might be a soul hidden in the body, which could be lost in the transfer. So that could be the case. There may be a soul hidden in the brain or mind that could be lost in the transfer. We can never know for sure, nor can anyone else know for sure, if we remain qualitatively the same after the transfer. we risk becoming philosophical zombies. And a philosophical zombie is someone who, or something, or someone who has all of the behavioral features of a conscious person. Like they take a sip of tea and they say delicious, so that they have all the behavioral features of a conscious person, but there's really nothing there. They lack full consciousness, or they lack subjective experience, or they lack, what it's like to be conscious. So by transferring our consciousness in this way, we risk becoming zombies. And here in the sort of graphic on the side, you could see a virtual zombie of Aristotle walking. So I thought that was fun. So you got zombie Aristotle. Um, 14. We might die in the break between switching mediums, the new consciousness being only a resurrected copy. So we might die before we actually are duplicated. We risk getting trapped in a computer simulation, potentially all alone forever, which would amount to hell. To me, that would be hell. At least we know our current physical body will eventually die at some point, avoiding the possibility of permanent hell. So we don't want to be stuck in hell or undead or something like that. There may be something valuable about mortality and death, which we avoid in transmigration. 17. Transmigration opens up the potential for multiple copies of the same person, undermining personal identity. So, if you could easily be copied and there could be lots of you, that definitely is problematic for personal identity. '18. There is a break in historical continuity in the transfer, ending a direct 3 billion year evolutionary line. So we sort of have this break. Because technically you trace your DNA all the way back 3 billion years or more than 3 billion years as this direct line. We definitely we lose that in transmigration. Transmigration might eventually lead to the extinction of the human species as we know it. So that I think that to be a bad thing. Or even if we're not extinct as a species, we might just be like these walking zombies or undead or mindless behavioral replicas. There might be a sanctity in the human brain which shouldn't be captured by some other medium. So there might be something special about the human brain, which we should sort of sanctify in some way and not really, try to, use something else. Finally, 21, there is no urgent need to transmigrate consciousness at this time to warrant all the risks mentioned. So there's a bunch of risks that I just named. Even if a few of those are the case, we should be hesitant here. So warning to the human species. Don't do it. Definitely not now. Probably not at all.